Right, we have yet more fake news. Paid for by the general public. Fake news mocking us. And of course, the vast majority of people will not see it as fake news and they will criticise us. Aye, take us to task, even though common pigging sense tells each and every one of us that it is fake news. This one has to deal with the Croydon so-called shooting in the custody suite just recently, in which a custody sergeant was shot several times by a man with a gun behind his back. The man didn't come from a circus. The whole pigging thing's a circus. But he had concealed, so the story goes, a gun in the waistband at the back. Okay? And he pulls it out. He's handcuffed, mind you. He pulls it out. And he gets to the trigger. He's surrounded by officers who don't see him pulling this object out and preventing him. And then miraculously he manages to shoot behind the desk a custody sergeant twice in the heart. 007 or what? Eh? SAS trained? And then from behind his back he manages to shoot himself in the neck. How the hell do you do that? Huh? How did you do it? There is no CCTV footage shown and blurred out. I mean, oh, that's corona. Because you see, if you inquire of Croydon, well, where's the CCTV footage to prove this? They will say, oh, well, it's too offensive to release. Well, just cloud out the part where he's shooting him. Just let us see how this person got the gun out of his waistband at the back and then manages to get round, to turn round, okay, to face the wall, and by that time officers would have pounced on him to shoot the officer on the desk, behind that desk. How do you do it? How do you do it? You've got to turn round. Try it yourself. Put a big plastic gun down your back of your pants, in your waistband, and face somebody. You've got to turn round. You've got to turn to the left or to the right. You've got to turn completely pigging round and then aim and shoot. So you don't hit the desk, you don't hit the ceiling, you don't hit any bugger else but the custody sergeant. And in all that time, you try it. You pigging try it. And ask your mate to watch you doing it and react accordingly. He'd go back, he'd vanish. He'd pig off. Or get your mates to stand by next to you. Shoulder to shoulder, virtually. And see if they will allow you to turn round so you can get your gun facing the custody sergeant. But it is said, you see, that the IOPC has the custody suite footage. Therefore it must be so. No, 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 it mustn't be so. Prove the IOPC, who colludes with the police. They let the minnows, the small fry, go to the CPS and the like. But in this instance, they colludes. As with other instances, quite frankly, across the board. They cannot be trusted. That's why they were created. As another arm to back up the corrupt police force of the United Kingdom. Now, it is not only absolutely, totally impossible for that story to hold up, because again, he's got to turn round, all the way round, and face the pig in back wall whilst he's then got his gun out and he's shooting the officer twice in the heart. My goodness. Hey, what do you do? Shoot through the pig in desk? Alright, nobody stops him. Nobody stops him managing. However you do it, you try it. You can't get a pig in gun. Secondly, you can't really get a gun, can you? To shoot yourself in the neck from that position. It's frigging ridiculous. Another point. Before we come to why it was done, why it was staged, why the story is fake. It wasn't even physically staged, it's just a story that was put out. Backed up by the police. And those who would not back it up, silenced. And there'll be few of those. The thing is, the person is stopped on the street. Supposedly, they believe he has bullets, so they don't shoot him. Sorry, they don't search him. Okay? First time ever, they don't search a person. But they handcuff him behind his back. Now you get your mate, or you get yourself for that matter. Stick a gun, a plastic gun, which is half the size, 3/4 the size of a real gun. A bulk, you know, guns are big and bulky. All right, solid pieces of big in metal. Stick a plastic gun down your waistband, in your waistband, at the back. Now put your hands behind your back, and what do you notice? Well, you feel a bulge. So, well, officers have put handcuffs on a person where the bulge is. Don't you think they would have felt the bulge as well as seen the bulge? Oh, of course they would. And then they said, hang on a minute, what's this? Lift up his pigging jacket. Oh yeah, a gun. Is somebody being stopped for suspicion of carrying bullets? So the story says. There's no man, there's no nothing. But I tell you something now. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't go through the acting part in a court for training purposes. And then call that a trial of the person who managed to turn round 180 degrees in order to shoot a custody sergeant twice in the heart. Wow. Target practice or what? And nobody stopped him. Nobody stopped him from then managing, how the hell you do it, I don't know, to point the gun upwards to shoot himself in the neck. If you point the pigging gun up, it's going to go past your head. And of course they don't find the guns bulging out when they come to handcuff him or feel the gun, the object, when handcuffing him. But then why was this done, you say? Well, the point is, only the persons that have created this story know full well why it was done. So ask them. The only two things that stick out, apart from the gun apparently didn't stick out, alright, is one, it was 2 days before this memorial service for fallen officers. Okay. And they're not all fallen in the line of duty, by the way. Some have had heart attacks at home. Some have had heart attacks at work. Some have crashed their vehicles and died when they've been off duty, but they're classed as being death on duty. And the intimation is that it's the general public that's killed them. So we should feel sorry for them. I think in 40 years there's been 20 deaths. I think that's calculated out as 20 deaths in 40 years of the police. In comparison to the hundreds in that same period of time that have died by the police. Police! Yeah. But is there a Memorial Day? We should have one. Why not? Why shouldn't we get together and form a Memorial Day for the fallen at the hands of the police? The Ian Tomlinsons. Call it the Ian Tomlinson Day. It's funny, isn't it? 2 days before the memorial. How convenient. And secondly, how convenient that Sadiq Khan kept harping on and harping on and harping on about the police should not stop and search people. Then this happens. Have you got it? This story comes out. Therefore, it's an answer to Sadiq Khan. What the police want is to stop and search under any circumstances. The stop and search. Now they can do it. Well, carry on with it. An answer to Sadiq Khan. Sadiq Khan now can't turn around and say, you shouldn't stop and search. You see, they've answered the bugger. And if we think about it this way, ladies and gentlemen, think about it this way. Where was this story told? Was it in Bradford? Was it in Hull? Was it in Milton Keynes? Anywhere in this country? Birmingham? Where did this story breathe into society from? Croydon, London, a district in London, of London. How convenient! And how convenient for the Memorial Day in London for the police, who get away with murder. Get away with murder. Murdering the general public. It's terrible. It's terrible when we have to say that the police are making themselves stink to high heaven. It's not us, it's they. We simply say, express what they're doing. They're terrible. Terrible. I was stopped the other day by a young officer. He had another officer with him. Came running actually, down this shopping area. And I stood there and so what's the problem? Said, you've been swearing in public. Pardon? Swearing in public? I haven't. Where's your proof? You've been swearing in public. I said, right, hang on a minute. Let's go down to the police station. Let's go to the custody sergeant, book me in. We'll go to court and then bring you evidence. The problem is, officer, I just happened to look your way as you were messing around with your mate here, and you clearly didn't like it. So now you're bringing up a false charge. Now, what you've got is hearsay. Where's your evidence? You swore in public, and he kept on. So I kept saying, no, fair enough. Where's your evidence? It's all hearsay. It's hearsay. You can't do it. You're an officer. You should know the law. It's hearsay. If it went to court, it'd be laughed out of court, and then I'd sue you. For wrongful arrest for a start. And defamation for another. And he kept on and on. You swore in public. Right, okay, let's keep going. It's hearsay. You've no evidence. Hearsay. You know what hearsay is? Hearsay. No evidence. I should not have to be instructing you, an officer of the law, but you should be instructing me. You need evidence. And you know what he said? He eventually got so irate, he said, fuck off. And I pointed to his mate. I said, now you've got that on body cam, because you put that body cam on. You've caught me reproving him, this officer, for not knowing the law and for stitching me up. And the pair of you are ganging in on me. Now you arrest him for swearing in public. They both walked off. They both walked off. But I'm pursuing that. I'm pursuing that with the Police Standards Department. I know what reply I shall get from them, but the reply that I shall get, I shall take to a solicitor and take them to court. Simple as that. The police think, believe, accept that they are above the law. And you've unfortunately, well, we have unfortunately, that section of society who bow and scrape to the police, think them wonderful, who've had no dealings with the police, and as soon as they get some dealings with the police, they change, they alter. The police in their eyes can do no wrong. Oh, it's always the police, they're always wrong, they're always wronged. No, it isn't, dears. It's the public that are wronged by the police, and that is totally iniquitous. The police should stand by the general public. That's what they're for. That's what we pay them for. Not to come at us and attack us, to kill us, and to defame us, and to false imprisonment of us. Terrible. Terrible the day we're living in. And wear their masks. Where are their masks? Where are they? Ridiculous. Are they exempt or something? Because that's the vaccine, you know. Do you know that? You tell somebody, I went in doctors the other day and he was having a fit. Oh, he was having a fit. I said, oh, hang on a minute. I'm exempt. Do you know something? He calmed down. Immediately calmed down. Because I'd taken the medicine called exemption. He felt then safe. So, common sense, if you and I and everybody else in the country declared we are exempt, then we cannot catch the plague, therefore we cannot pass on the plague, and therefore the plague must go away. Common sense, isn't it? We'll leave it at that.